What's up? It's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. I decided I wanted to do a everything I crocheted this year wrap up video, I think over the summer, and I started keeping track of everything I made and going back and looking. I made a ton of stuff this year, so I'm not going chronologically. I'm gonna kind of go by categories instead, just to make it a little bit easier. My list is like quite long. So the first thing I've got is this little gamer girl bunny plush that I just made for me because I love bunnies and I like video games. So this one hangs out on top of my thread rack over there. Next I will include as many photos as I can of things that I don't have anymore. I did 2 markets this year that I made a bunch of stuff for that I don't have like individual pictures of everything, but I will link videos as well of like tutorials I've done or where maybe you could go and see those. So I was testing out different little like amigurumi shapes. So this is one of my first prototypes of my little marshmallow pets that are like different animals and things that are shaped like a marshmallow. So I made 2 of these initially. One of them I don't have anymore. I also made, this is one of my keychains. It's a little alien head. I made a couple of glow-in-the-dark ghosts, and then I made a hot chocolate one that was in my most recent like holiday decor item videos. I got really into making tote bags this year. The first one I did is this one shaped like a giant button. This one's made out of like cord, very thick, stiff cord. So this one's really good for a project bag or for taking to the craft store because it doesn't stretch out. I also made quite a few of these ruffle project bags. This is the first one I made, and then I got really into them, so I made quite a few that I've been trying to sell. I do have, I believe, a tutorial for this bag as well. I also learned how to make like a leaf pattern, the leaf trim, so I made one that has leaves around the side. One thing I don't have a picture of is I figured out how to make spirals. I'm putting check marks next to everything I've talked about so that I don't get lost in all of this. So I made like a rainbow cotton spiral bag that I don't think I have a picture of, but I will put one if I can find it. I also made, as quite a few gifts this year, these little velvet pouches. I don't have any left with me, but I do have a tutorial for those. I also recently put out, I don't even know if I can hold this up on frame, but my giant Sir Didymus labyrinth blanket. I have a whole video about making that. I also made this guy up here. This is the little dog that you get in the video game Potions Permit. I think the default name it gives you is Nox, which that's the one I kept. So he's my little guy, and he's got his little steampunk goggles. I made, in my Disability Pride video for the year, I made a little Disability Pride flag pouch to go on my wheelchair. I made a little, I don't think I have a photo of this one either, but I just made a little, it's like a version of the velvet pouches, just bigger and not made out of velvet, that I use to keep all my medications in when I'm traveling. I made a harness belt and some choker necklaces in a crochet accessories video. My first market, some of the items I've already mentioned were included. I made 54 market items. I got commissioned by a friend of mine to make, I guess like toddler blankets is what you would call them. They're slightly bigger than a baby blanket, but not quite a throw blanket. So I made 2 of those, and she also bought for me a couple of my marshmallow pets to go with them. For the second market, I already had some stock and less time, so I made 22 market items, including a sweater that I was able to make in like a week for that market. It did not sell, but that's okay. I will try again in the future. I had a couple commissions from family members for my little ghost with a witch hat marshmallow pet, so I made a couple more of those. Also in the holiday decor items video, I have this little velvet plush present and these little gingerbread houses that are just like little plush things. I also this year, I think in my previous studio vlog video, I talked about a charity event that I run at my work where we crochet and knit warm things to give to a charity in town. So I made 15 items for that, hats and scarves. For my white elephant gift exchange that I had with my friends this year, I made this like open front poncho and matching beanie. One of my friends a few months ago asked me to make her a balaclava, which I never made before, so that was fun trying to figure that out. So I ended up with making the balaclava, and then for Christmas I had some of the yarn left, so I made her matching granny square hand warmers. Then I don't think I have a picture. I think my hand warmer tutorial is also with the pencil pouch, but I gave my friend slash sister-in-law those hand warmers for Christmas, and my other sister-in-law was like, oh my god, I should have you make me some of those because I don't like the, you know, gloves with fingers and the ones that like kind of go up to half fingers. She said that they like stretch out or start to wear down or whatever. So we saw them Christmas Eve, and then we were going back to see them again 2 days later. So I can make those hand warmers in a couple hours. So I bought some yarn the next day and made the hand warmers in one afternoon and then brought them to her the next day as a surprise, and she freaked out. It was so cool. They were just like plain dark gray. Again, my hand warmer tutorial, you can see that to see how I made those. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything that is not a clothing item, so I'm gonna put this stuff away and go get the clothes that I have, and we'll do this again, but with clothing items I can show you. Okay, whew, I feel winded. I have a mountain of clothes that I just had to carry in here and put on the floor. Okay, let me pull my list back out. I actually, as I was digging for some things, found a couple other things that I forgot to include on my list. Okay, so I redid this sweater this year, the sleeves and the bottom anyway. I also made, out of this same yarn, this ruffle sweater. It's like a kind of creamish white with pink and gray speckles in it. I love this one. I also made this cardigan with buttons on it and little bows on the sleeves. The thing I found that I forgot to put down was my bleach dyeing adventure, where I made this hat out of yarn that I bleached and a pair of matching hand warmers. Something I don't have, and I don't think I have photos of, is I have, it's like a color block sweater vest that I made out of cotton yarn. Don't have it anymore, but the pink, I think I called it like pink lemonade, one shoulder roughly top. I have a video tutorial for that. I made that this year. I learned how to make gingham and made this little crop top. I am still struggling. I'm working on a raglan right now, but keeping the seam straight is kind of difficult. I also made this burgundy raglan top. Don't know how easy it'll be to see from this angle, but this wall art piece, I made that this year, and I am working on, it's been delayed for months, but a big one to hang in my office at work. I made this scrap yarn mesh pullover. I have a tutorial for that. I designed a top this year. I will try to remember to put a link to the Etsy listing, but it is called the Maggie top. I made one for my friend Maggie, so that's what I decided to name it. So I made 3 of those this year, one for me, one for, well, another one for me, but one to take photos of for writing the pattern, and then I made one for her as well. I also made in my like testing out new yarn video, I think, no, in my in the video where I tried shopping from an online like crafting thrift store, I got this beautiful like very thin rainbow yarn that I made a like bra top out of. I made 3 wool beanies. This one I got from a local yarn store, and then while we were in Ireland over this summer, my boyfriend picked out some yarn and I knitted him I don't knit. I crocheted him a hat. I guess I'm just thinking I have like just knit on the brain of like knit beanie, knit whatever. But these are all crocheted. I don't know how to knit. And then I got this yarn while we were in Ireland as well, and this little pom-pom, and made myself this beanie when I got home. I also, we were in Ireland to celebrate my partner's brother and our friend getting married, and so I usually make people blankets for weddings, but I already made them one a long time ago, so I decided to make them like matching husband and wife cardigans that has like, I put a little tag in the back that has their wedding date embroidered on it. So I made a black one for him and then a sort of beige one for her. I made a couple of random tops just to try to sell in my markets. I got really into making shorts this summer with the Bernat lattice yarn, which I love. So the first pair I made, which one of the strings is coming out, is this pair. They're like baggier shorts and they've got little pockets on the front. I also made this black pair, which I think I need to redo because like there's this weird wrinkling that's happening in the leg, but this was my first attempt at making like dolphin hem shorts with the little cutout. So I like how those turned out. I also made these color block shorts that are also dolphin hem and have piping, and a little matching crop top that goes with them. And I think that is it. So hang on a sec while I calculate the total of all of this. I made a total of 164 crochet items this year. That is a lot, and a little wild to me. I've already started, I definitely started to get burnt out towards the end of the year and was feeling like stressed about finishing stuff. I have a few bigger ideas and like lengthier ideas for this winter and kind of upcoming in the next year. So I want to keep doing crochet content because I love it, but I think I'm definitely going to slow down. I had so many ideas that I was just like pumping out projects and videos a lot. I always try to do more over the summer because I'm working from home, so it's easier, but I just kept going once fall semester started, and I think it didn't really like help my channel out as far as getting more traction and getting more views and more engagement. So I think I'm gonna let myself slow down, try to go back to my 2 to 3 times a month instead of like 4 a month that I've been doing for the last 6 months or so. So that's everything I crocheted for 2024. I'm excited to share my upcoming projects for 2025. If you like this video and you want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe. I post videos 2 to 3 times a month, sometimes more. Thanks so much for watching this one. See you next time.